Hi, my friend. Today, I want to talk about discipline, because discipline is a subject that used to make me feel very bad because I felt like I wasn't disciplined enough. But with this video, I want to share something with you that's going to make you realize that discipline can be incredibly easy and is supposed to be quite effortless. It's just that if this is not how discipline has been for you, up until this point, then that is because you are not starting in the right place. You might be starting at the discipline in of itself without understanding that in order to be disciplined for something, and for it to be incredibly easy and kind of fall into place naturally, so it isn't a struggle, because I can tell you that most people who are successfully disciplined do not struggle with it, and that is because they have turned it into something that I would like to call devotion. You see, discipline is the easiest thing in the world when you feel something compelling inside of you that you want to do, a passion, a joy, a excitement over something. When you discover that, then you install the discipline. Now, this brings us into an entirely different area as well. That being excited, having joy and passion about something is your birthright, is something that we all have, but that some people are not fully connected to, unfortunately. Some people have pretended to be someone for so long that they're not genuinely connected to their authenticity and their purest form of energy inside of them anymore. And so without that spark, discipline will never turn into something quite effortless and will always be sort of a struggle. Because when you know what you want to do, and it feels so compelling in your heart and you're so inspired, the discipline put in place for that comes afterwards. It becomes a devotion to this thing that you feel within you. And then it becomes easy because you're excited about it. It's fun. It's joyful. The thing, however, is that if you do not feel inspired, if you do not feel joy, passion, and excitement within you right now, then now is not the time to be disciplined, but to be gentle with yourself. To cultivate that joy, passion, and excitement back into your life. And to feel that first and then implement the discipline or the devotion. That's when things get really easy. However, I want you to understand that pure inspiration, pure excitement, pure joy and passion will only exist as an element of you when you are fully connected to yourself. A lot of us are not connected to ourselves. I have not been connected to myself most of my life. However, I've come to a point in life where I feel deeply connected to myself. Now, what does it look like when you're not connected to yourself? You have a lot of attachments to an idea about who it is that you should be. Perhaps you hang around the wrong type of people. You are in the wrong line of work. You are always thinking about how can I figure this thing out? How can I solve this? How can I become someone, achieve something? Always attached to perhaps comparisons to other people. Because you're avoiding the depth of who you are in doing those things. I said that you need gentleness. If passion and excitement and joy is not here in place for you right now, then that means that there is something about you that you do not accept that is opposite of that in this moment. And you try to be a happy individual. You try to be an inspired individual. You try to make yourself inspired or creative, whereas that is a birthright that lands inside of you when you're being honest about who it is that you are. And the thing is that all of these programs and attachments that I just talked and went a little bit into, they're all there as a rejection of something that is true and authentic about you. It could be that you've been tired for a long time, but you tried to be a productive or successful person. It could be that You've pretended and not been able to put down your boundaries in a way that would reflect you loving yourself. Now, why do we do that? We do that because if we don't, or if we do put that boundary down, it will awaken the energy that we push to the side our entire life by staying in the same situation, by keep doing the same thing that is killing our energy. You see, you become numb and unable to feel into who it is that you really are. The more that your awareness is placed on the mind and its ideas about how to live life, and the less time that you've spent just here in presence and being here. You see, joy, passion, and those beautiful things arise within you naturally when first you have the capacity to feel deep shame, deep fear, deep guilt. And at every attachment and addiction lies one of these emotions that in this moment you might not even be aware of the fact that you have. Because you've been so active for so long without allowing yourself to really slow down, my friend. To realize that in slowing down and not being so active all the time, not being distracted constantly through whatever means it is that you've been distracted, whether it's been your thoughts or a combination, which is how it usually always is, of behavior, actions and reactions. To always be on the move. You realize that that was a part of you that you pretended and forced yourself to be in a lot of aspects in life, because it continuously made it so that something true and authentic about you can't rise up to the surface. There's a lot of trauma in a lot of people on this planet. And I'm saying this from experience because I've had to go through so much inside of me, make peace with it. And there comes a period in most people's lives where it's time to slow down because nothing that you do works. Doesn't matter if you're more disciplined or not. Because discipline is not going to connect you back to you. Discipline, or as we call it now, devotion, is something that you put into place when you have all of you. That's when it becomes simple. Now, you cannot tap into the beautiful aspects of joy, passion, and so on until you've slowed down enough to understand who it is that you've been for the longest time. Maybe you've been someone that's been really afraid for a long time, really sad, really in conflict with your past. Which, by the way, a reminder once again that this is the case, is that life is challenging. We don't have this flow that I'm talking about. The flow is natural and happens effortlessly when we're in flow. But first we must flow with that shame, that anger, that guilt, that no longer is numb to your awareness and to yourself. When you start to slow down to a point where that energy can start to make itself known to you again, because the body realizes that, oh, he's starting to slow down a bit. This hasn't happened before. Maybe it's safe for me to move up to the surface a little bit. And then all of a sudden, it starts moving up. And then, of course, your initial reaction might be like, oh no, I'm going back to those same patterns. But that's when you remind yourself to be gentle and realize that, oh, I don't have to do a single thing. I have done enough. I have fought enough. It's time to make peace with myself. It's time to come home into myself and into my body. And to stay here. And to be here. Just for what is here. For who it is that you've been now for the longest time. Some of you will cry. Some of you will feel an emptiness. Some of you, and most of you, will want to run from this place. But just keep returning as you keep running. Keep returning back here. And the more that you return back here, the more you're going to connect to that energy of that sadness that was always traveling with you and making life uncomfortable and making life so challenging. Eventually, that shame will make itself known to you again. As you stay here and don't judge it as good or bad anymore by being something to oppose it. and as you have the capacity to feel so deeply this thing, you unlock your ability to tap into that joy and excitement for life again. The more deep you can go into those depths, the higher you can rise. And as you rise, you're going to find yourself one day as you expand your consciousness by diving deeper into the truth of who you are, that you'll explore new things about yourself on the other end of that scale as well. You'll wake up one day and feel better than you've done in years, because you're no longer having to live life through a very tight filter, lens or scope that was always surrounded around the heaviness of this thing that you held on to. And one day, you're going to realize, oh my God, I love this thing. I have so much to bring into this thing. There's so much that you have to give to this world, otherwise you wouldn't be here. There's something that is truly and authentically for you here. But you gotta discover that by first understanding the full range of who you are. And then as you understand that, as you slow down and start to reconcile with all of the aspects of you that you left behind over the years, one day you're going to be so clear, so full of clarity about who it is that you are and what it is that you want to do, because you can feel it so deeply, because you learned how to feel so deeply, that putting the discipline in place for whatever thing it is that you feel called to do will be easy and effortless. And at that point, my friend, life is peaceful, turns into a dance. I also want to take it back, because life can be peaceful for you right now, even in the midst of the most challenging thing that you've carried for so long, because it's not about where you're at. Peace is about allowing what is here now. And so peace can be found in this moment. But that dance of living that highest fulfillment for your life, it activates more and more the more of you that you have. If you received value from this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It is much appreciated. It helps my channel to grow. I always sound like a robot when I speak about this, because it's like the only thing that I have to remind myself to say before I start a video. Thank you for watching, my friends, and if you want to talk to me one-on-one in my call, feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link down below. See you there. Much love.